Hey, this is a good sign. This means the interior of this house is pretty much done. And once this rain subsides, I got probably one more day left on the interior, maybe a couple more, all in total, but for the most part, one real day left. And next up, we're spraying the outside of the house, and that is pretty much a wrap from there. But you want to see what this house looks like? I'd love to show you. So this is just the garage here, of course, and where I do a lot of my work. And as we come in here, and walking in from the garage to the dining area, you can see my lovely table and chair, and of course the new ceiling fans. Everything's all pretty much done. The only thing here in the kitchen, I gotta finish off this door, and it shouldn't take long. Like I said, that's part of tomorrow's work here. Is I had to patch up some chew marks from an old dog, and just gotta paint this. And original countertops. This house is built in 1970, and that's all the shiplap I put in. So the color there is brown, is called espresso beans. It's a Behr paint. The other white part is called helium, so it's got a blue tint. I did the ceiling in that same color, helium, and then the walls are they're like a cream color. As you can see, a little difference there, and that's called Swiss coffee. Now this kitchen, it's a galley kitchen, and I had to take it all the way down to the frame up here. This had the old that old wood paneling that you'd see in the 1970s, of course. It was all outdated. Still, it actually was in pretty good shape, but it was outdated. So I had to take that all down and went down to the actual structure. Went down to the actual structure of the framing of the upper counterparts, and then the lower below went all the way down to the 2x4s as well. The kitchen here, once we walk into the kitchen, if you've been following my progress on the Facebook here, on YouTube, you saw what I was going through a couple months ago with this kitchen. So I'm glad it's all done. Got a brand new fancy faucet there with a soap dispenser. Of course, this all below, all this is all new down at the bottom, all the way down to the floor. The framing of all this piping was all nasty, and that's all taken care of now. The fridge is nice and clean, and of course I did renovate this entire hood. Took it all the way down, took the motor out, cleaned it all up, sanded it down, reprimered, repainted, kept the original, let's see if I can show that to you, the original tag there. Thought that was pretty dope. So we got light, we got a high power fan, and that's a big exhaust fan. If you see the size of the stove and how long the fan goes, definitely no smoke's getting up in there. But if it does, we installed fire alarms today. That's another thing we did today, was the fire alarms. Fire alarms, heat registers, blah, blah, blah. This is my pantry. Now, one thing I did in here, and you'll see, is that the regular floor, the tile floor, Aaron and I came up and helped me lay this, but all this floor, every utility closet, there's only 2 rooms that the closets don't have this slate flooring in there, but I thought that was a nice touch to put that in. Now, all the utility doors, all the utility closets, like the pantry, this coat closet here, they're all a flat door, unlike, a panel door. And I wanted there to be a separation so people could distinctively know the difference between a closet and a room. Also, the door knobs on the rooms are slightly different as well. I know, the little camera doorbells are all the big rage right now. I am like kind of anti all those cameras. I know, call me crazy, but this is the original doorbell from 1970. It didn't work, and I was able to get it back working with, you'll never believe this, a rubber band. The thing was shot, the electricians were going to toss it. I said, oh no, don't toss that, I'll fix that up. And I did, and all it took was a rubber band. So let's listen. The old school doorbell. I love the old school doorbell. This door here, and we're just coming out of the family/living room here, but this door here, this is the furnace. And furnaces inside the house I'm completely new with. Being from the Northwest, we have our furnaces inside the garage or in the basement if you have a basement. But this, I just love how that turned out. So it looks like a confessional window. And then what I did here is plywooded the back of it, because you can't really have any air coming in this way. It's all got to be filtered through the box below. But yeah, I just love that door. And with the if you could see the white behind it, it adds some depth. And so when you're walking by, it looks like it's actually deeper than what it is. All right, headed into the bathroom now. If you look at the toilet, that's your own dang fault, okay? So a nice modern vanity there, nothing really too spectacular. The last house I did, I really went all out with everything. And I wasn't able to go to the extent on this house because I had some huge electrical expenses, and it was literally like buying a brand new base model Toyota Corolla, the cost of it. But hey, I'm not complaining. It was a job well done, and it was a fire hazard before. They had previous owners, homeowners, I don't know, their uncle, I don't know who did it, but they had put aluminum and copper wire together just in about every room. So between the ceiling and the top of the roof, it's about 3 feet in this house. So it's very, very tight to get up there. They were able to get up there, rewire everything, drop down through the walls. So I'm pretty thankful for that. Now, I love this shower. And so now the tub is all, I have to clean the tub a little bit. But just look at that tile work. Isn't that pretty? Now, it does have the handle there in case you need to grab onto something, and a handle for when you're getting out of the shower or the tub. I know the walk-in showers are super popular, but hey, I'm actually kind of old school in the fact that you need a tub in the house, at least one tub. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but what would happen, like if you needed to soak in Epsom salt, or you needed some kind of home therapy like that, or somebody was sick and they had to like get rid of a temperature or something, or like a fever or something, they had to like soak in a tub. Babies too, you got little kids, little babies, they need a tub a little bit, in my opinion. They're gonna grow out of a sink, but this is a linen closet here, just right across from the bathroom and the furnace. Another fire alarm. Those are the CO2 alarms also, combination. Now this is a spare bedroom, and this was, you probably recognize this room if you've seen any of the videos. I don't know who's watching them, but the blue painter's tape kind of gives it away. This was the room where I stayed in throughout the whole renovation for the most part. While everything else was concrete, 2x4s, holes in the walls, just raw pipes and electrical wires everywhere. I don't don't sleep somewhere else. You know, occasionally I might rent a hotel, and I get sometimes a little homesick, so I'll go see my parents or drive up to Washington and see my kids. But and that's really the reason why these houses take a little bit longer for me, because look, if I want to go see my kids, I just drop the tool belt, hop in the car and go. You know, if I want to see my parents, it's the same way. And I don't care how long I spend, you know, if it's a week, if it's 2 weeks, if it's 3 weeks. I lived my life in car dealerships and literally gave my life to them. And I missed so many different functions, plays, schools, sports, everything. And I just said I wasn't going to do that anymore. So installed these new closet doors. Now these closet doors, you can go broke on closet doors, and I'm not even kidding. So these aren't really expensive closet doors, but they're nice. You know, they're lightweight and they're durable. And should you ever need to replace them, they're not a lot of money, and most hardware stores will stock them. So pretty cool. Next is the second bedroom. We'll just kind of quickly do this. So if you're wondering about the stuff on the windows, so while I paint and everything, and while I'm working in these houses, I use like a butcher paper. Essentially, it's a freezer paper on the window. And here's your other closet. And you know what? Honestly, if you're looking for a cheap temporary blind solution, don't go. You hang your blanket across the window, and I've had to do that a lot of times. But I realized I could go to the grocery store, and I can get like, I don't know, 200 feet of this freezer paper. It's plastic coated on the other side, so in the morning if there's condensation that builds up, it doesn't ruin the paper and ruin the tape that holds it up. And then it just, it's there. And one thing that's really awesome is at nighttime when I turn the lights on, the light goes through that paper. Nobody can see in, but they can see that your lights are on inside the house. So I thought that, I like that aspect of it. Of course, blinds are always the best thing to do. Here's another coat closet, storage. Being it's a smaller house, it's great to have storage, extra storage. So the master bedroom, and excuse the cot, but everybody by now knows I sleep on a cot. Every single bedroom and living areas, including the dining room, has one of those, has a nice ceiling fan. They're all LED lights. I went all LED lights in this house. Lamps and stuff. I like to have the daylight look on the LED ceiling. And the lamps, I love that fluorescent, the soft white fluorescent light. And I think it's pretty awesome. I don't think a lot of people consider lighting like that. If you do like a daylight on the ceiling and then a soft white, with a fluorescent, old school kind of fluorescent, then, on your regular lamps, you still get that warm feeling when you're living in the house, but it's bright, So this is it's a walk-in, well, kind of more like a step-in closet. But again, you got that same color tile in all those rooms, and I got one of those fancy light bulbs up there. Well, that's it. That's the nickel tour. You saw all 965 square feet of the house, and thank you for watching. And keep watching, because soon we'll be going over the outside and doing the painting of the house, and then we'll, do short videos throughout that, probably, and then we'll do one whole big video at the end. So, hey, thanks again.